This year's Global Consultation on Child Welfare Services, held at the Dusit Thani Hotel in Makati City, tackled the ever-growing problem of child trafficking through inter-country adoption. A total of 265 participants, representing 20 countries, have joined hands and minds to secure children's rights by strengthening international partnerships. The opening ceremony saw children from Nayon ng Kabataan carrying the colors of the different participating countries. The Verlani Children's Choir rendered a soul-stirring invocation and national anthem, followed by an entertaining interpretative dance number by the children and staff from My Father's House. Dr. Aida Moncada, chairperson for this global consultation, set the tone on the urgent need to address the problem of child trafficking and inter-country adoption. Undersecretary Alicia Bala of the Department of Social Welfare and Development and alternate chairperson of the ICAB introduced the keynote speaker. Honorable Corazon Juliano Soliman, Secretary of the Department of Social Welfare and Development and chairperson of ICAB, in her keynote address, thanked the participants for their continued commitment to guarantee that Filipino children placed abroad are assured of a safe and loving home environment. She urged a candid discussion on the prevention of child trafficking using inter-country adoption. ICAB member Attorney Shelo Rondain talked about inter-country adoption as a means to traffic children and the measures to curb these practices. She acknowledged that both sending and receiving countries must update safety mechanisms in the pre-adoption process. The stakeholders must identify loopholes in the law and initiate moves to implement reforms. During the press conference, Attorney Gwendolyn Gana, ACA President, Ms. Jennifer Dejeling, Secretary of the Permanent Bureau, Hague Conference on Private International Law of the Netherlands, Undersecretary Alicia Bala of the DSWD, and Dr. Aida Moncada highlighted the high standards and recognition of the Philippine system on adoption of children. Senator Pia Cayetano, chairperson of the Senate Committee on Women and Children, discussed the proposed Expanded Anti-Trafficking in Persons Act of 2010. The proposed bill will include the coverage of illegal procurement of children for adoption. Mr. Jerome Alcantara, head of the Policy Center of the Visayan Forum Foundation Incorporated, discussed the emerging trends and field realities on the issue of child trafficking and illegal procurement of children. He also proposed policy and program agenda through which dynamic partnerships could evolve from. Ms. Patricia Luna, Director of the Social Technology Bureau of the Department of Social Welfare and Development, and Attorney Gwendolyn Pimentel Gana, President of the Association of Child Caring Agencies of the Philippines, gave an update on the implementation of RA 9523, the certification of a child as legally available for adoption. Ms. Luna reported that after barely 2 years of implementation, a total of 1,267 children were issued with a certification, 54% of which have been endorsed for local matching. Attorney Gana, for her part, spoke of the problems that they have encountered in its implementation and recommended several solutions to address these. Updates on the Philippine Inter-Country Adoption Program was given by ICAB member Attorney Noel Del Prado. He said that from June 2009 to June 2011, ICAB has placed 970 children, majority of whom were with adoptive European parents. During the past years, ICAB has taken various efforts to refine and enhance its standards, procedures, programs, and services, at the same time recognizing that there are still many areas that need to be improved. Current trends on adoption were discussed by Ms. Evelyn Lontoc, Assistant Regional Director of the Department of Social Welfare and Development, Field Office 5, and Ms. Josefina de Malaluan, Head of the Social Services Department of the Hospicio de San Jose, from their perspective as a sending country. Ms. Andrea Stowisk, Executive Director of the Bay Area Adoption Services of the United States, and Mr. Oystein Goodin, Director of the Adoptions Forum of Norway, were also on hand to give their insights from their perspective as receiving countries. After the open forum, Ms. Maria Paz de Guzman launched her book, Foster Care, My Family, My Home. Day one of the conference ended with a welcome dinner as performers from the Hospicio de San Jose entertained the guests. A long but fulfilling day for the participants. Day two of the conference was kicked off by Ms. Jennifer Dejeling, Secretary of the Permanent Bureau of the Hague Conference on Private International Law from the Netherlands, who spoke about the Special Commission on Inter-Country Adoption. She discussed the abduction, sale, and traffic of children in the context of adoption that is happening worldwide, citing Haiti's experience. She outlined the priorities of convention states and key recommendations of the Special Commission against the illicit procurement of children. Australia's experience in addressing child trafficking issues in the context of inter-country adoption was presented by Ms. Virginia Louise Wilson, the Principal Legal Officer of the Inter-Country Adoption Branch of the Australian Central Authority. She narrated that Australia's involvement initially stemmed from isolated cases, which led to a re-examine of programs and procedures with other countries. Ms. Wilson identified Australia's participation in curbing this illegal practice in both the domestic and international front. The revision on the rules of court on adoption was then discussed by Attorney Nympha Vilches, Deputy Court Administrator of the Philippine Judicial Academy. In the afternoon, simultaneous breakout sessions were participated in by the attendees. The role of the media in the fight against child trafficking and confidentiality in adoption was discussed by Ms. Cara David of GMA7, with panelists Dr. Aida Moncada, Board Member of ICAB, and Ms. Meli Reluya, the Executive Director of White Cross Children's Home. A discussion on medical mission services for children whose medical conditions cannot be treated, managed, or responded to in the Philippines due to financial constraints and lack of facilities was facilitated by Ms. Elizabeth Cases, Executive Director of the Concordia Children's Home. The Adoption Ambassador Program was discussed by Ms. Kim Westfall of the Lutheran Social Services in the United States. She was followed by Ms. Imelda Ronda, Social Welfare Officer of ICAB, who discussed the preparation of children for inter-country adoption as determined by prospective adoptive parents. Different alternative parental care in the Philippines was discussed by Ms. Brenda Vigo, Executive Director of the Council for the Welfare of Children, with panelists Ms. Paz de Guzman speaking about foster care, Gladys Bunao for residential care, and Deanna Collins for independent living. After the breakout sessions were completed, a consultation dialogue with the ICAB and guests from the foreign adoption agencies was held. A cultural presentation during the fellowship dinner awaited the participants, with entertainment provided by the Quezon City Performing Arts. As part of the program, participants were able to showcase their other talents to the delight of everyone present. It was indeed a memorable finish to an action-packed day. The last day of the consultations began with a moving and inspiring sharing of experiences by both adoptees and adoptive parents, each having a unique perspective on the life-changing effect that it has had in their lives. Father and daughter Rachel and Joel Christensen shared anecdotes on how they both adjusted to each other and their families. Mr. Jens Andersson, an adoptee from Sweden, spoke about his personal journey to come to terms with his roots and how he intends to help his own children do the same, while Mr. Joan Fornero Villa exuberantly described his own experiences with his precocious adopted 7-year-old daughter, Crisame, a covenant reaffirming their commitment to ensure that every child shall grow up in a family that will provide for his best interests and welfare, protect children's rights through dynamic international partnerships, and ensure that adoption shall not be used as a means to traffic children, was signed by the delegates, while the FEU Bamboo Band delighted with their playful music. Undersecretary Alicia Bala summed up the conference by citing the importance of strengthening ties to secure children's rights and exhorted the delegates to continue to be vigilant against child trafficking. She ended by thanking the participants for creating a new world order for the children. The exchanges for the past 3 days celebrated the triumphs that have resulted from the continued cooperation by local and foreign agencies to secure a better future for the children, and at the same time, underscoring new challenges that need to be addressed.
It has been useful for understanding a bit more about culture of media in Philippines.
It's been very interesting, and it really has helped me start to think about the whole relationship between the chance of trafficking happen in international adoption to certainly be a serious one. And so I think it's been a conscious-raising topic that they've chosen this year.
This conference for me is important to better understand the needs of special children.
One of the things I always get the most out of the conference is the interaction that I get with other participants from other countries.
I find this consultation an inspiring one it is responsive to the needs of the present and the evolving needs of children at present. In the previous, although I attended, this is my second time to attend the consultation, I still find it challenging and inspiring.
This year's Global Consultation, although shorter than in the past, did not disappoint, with its thought-provoking insights and presentations on the various pressing issues facing inter-country adoption today. It is hoped that this coming together of like-minded individuals can have immediate and far-reaching effects on securing children's rights through dynamic international partnerships. We hope to see you again in the next Global Consultation on Child Welfare Services.